I'm so bad at self-publicity. Okay.
I'll help you remember.
Okay.
You got to get t-shirts. That's why I put my
I
little
know.
mom on a,
I love it.
yeah. Okay. I'm so excited to be here today with Thea de Sousa of Your Moms Are Watching. It's one of the, many like Bravo Instagram channels that me and my girlfriends follow to keep up with everything that's happening in the Bravo world, watch a lot of funny memes, and basically just kind of quench our thirst on our guilty pleasure of Bravo. But it's not really guilty pleasure, it's kind of my life. And so I own that. I always said I didn't finish college, but I did, I my college is all of Bravo, basically. Like
Right.
that's what I got a degree in. How did you get into the Bravo world?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your amazing podcast. You're so sweet.
Thank
I
you.
love your hat and your t-shirt. Okay. I was a Bravo fan, and it was like pandemic-ish, like a year after the pandemic, but been stuck in the house with 2 kids and husband for a year. And my
Yeah.
friend suggested that we do, it was like 3 of us on a group chat talking Bravo. We would always talk about the shows, right? Like, oh my God, did you see this last night? She's like, we should do an Instagram page. And I swear to you, I first of all had to Google what a meme was. Second of all, I had never been on Instagram in this capacity, just like for, posting silly pictures of my kid. So I'm like quickly researching. I'm like, sure, why not? Whatever. And they dropped out like day 2. But
As
that's
they do.
but that's what it was. Your moms are watching it. We're like, we'll do it from the point of view of 3 moms that watch Bravo, right? Like, we'll do it that point of view. And yeah, they ended up leaving. And after like a while, I tried to rebrand. I tried to go to like Your Mom Is Watching or just something totally different. And my followers completely revolted, staged a coup. They were like, no, it's Your Moms Are Watching, and we will accept nothing else until here I am, 3 years later.
I love that so much. But now it's like, yes, you're like head mom, but universally, all of your moms are watching.
It's true, and many, many, many of my followers are moms, so I feel like it still kind of fits. But I just think it's funny that it's plural, but whatever.
It's so funny. Yeah, I mean, my group chat right now is my 3 close friends, and we are all moms, and that is all our group chat consists of.
I mean, what else is there to talk about? There's really not that much going on in our lives when you're a mom, other than play dates and school board and all that stuff. So
I don't want
it's
to talk about
really
that.
your view as a mom is so limited, especially when your kids are little, which mine are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so now how do your friends feel about it now that you've kind of blown up?
Well, they laugh a lot when something crazy happens. They're like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" But usually, you know, they don't want back in anything. Like, they don't envy me. They're like that. You do you, but I would never want that kind of scrutiny. I do get,
Right.
negative and positive attention. Actually, by the way, neither of them. One's like a frontline nurse, and the neither of them. Other one has cystic fibrosis. Would like to be run an Instagram page. They would not have the time. They would not have the. So it's definitely my thing, and they love it. They came to BravoCon with me the first year, the one in New York, or the second one
Yep.
ever. So they both came with me, and we went around and met everyone. So I think they get like the the residual benefits of it without having to do the work, which is amazing.
That's really good. Yes, right. Because sometimes when you take the thing you love to do and you turn it into work, then it's like, why did I do that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of Bravo has been ruined for me by getting to know some of these Bravo labs. And now I watch the show and I'm thinking that is not how you are in real life, but okay.
Okay, well, let's get into some of that. Okay, so there is one of the biggest fights that I have with my girlfriends in that group chat is over Louis, Teresa's husband,
Right.
because I have I have historically terrible taste in men anyway, I guess. So I was like, I love Louis. It was like I get
Listen, I get it. He's charming. He's 100% charming. And honestly, if I don't know him, I would like him too. I like how he seems a little bit self-deprecating. He kind of gets in on the joke. I like how he engages. I feel like he doesn't shy away from drama. He kind of gets into it. Like, we love that, right? I know a little bit too much about him to like Louis. I mean, I have gone to dinner with Louis and Teresa and a couple other housewives. Like, I know them. And I see that side. I see
Yeah.
Even with Teresa, by the way, who I also
Yeah.
who I also have to dislike only because of what I know. I actually get the charm with Teresa. She's very friendly, looks you right in the eye, wants to be, kind of acts like your best friend. Whereas other housewives I've met who are very standoffish, she wouldn't give you the time of
Mhm.
day. So I get both of them. If I didn't know what I know, I would like them too. Unfortunately, see, this is why my page has ruined it for me. It's ruined it.
I love it. So I saw Louis at BravoCon, and okay, so I went to the Vegas BravoCon.
Right.
That was my first year going. Um, and I spent the first 2 days there getting my tooth taken out. So
What
I didn't
in
yes,
Vegas? Like a
yes.
Vegas
And
dentist?
I'm in
No.
the freaking Summerlin, Nevada dentist office
No.
because I had a broken tooth, and it finally, by the time we got off the plane, I was like, it's so bad, like I can't do anything.
Huh?
So I'm sitting there, my girlfriends are like out doing all the fun stuff. I'm in the dentist office for 4 hours, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like there's not enough vodka, there's not enough gummies in the world. It needed to come out. And the next day I rallied and I was like, okay, I'm going to BravoCon.
Tell you something. It was my second time at BravoCon, and by now I had become like the messiest, stupidest page on Instagram. And I would rather, in a lot of cases, have been the dentist getting a tooth pulled. Like really, it's in some areas. I mean, I literally got almost kicked out of BravoCon by security because
What were you doing?
I didn't mean to. I swear to God, it is in keeping with my messy personality, but I swear to God, it was an accident. I was just wanted to go. I'm the kind of person who likes to scope out where I'm going beforehand so I don't get lost, bad sense
Yeah.
of direction. I was just walking, and I had written Captain Lee's one-man show, and we had performed at a casino the night before BravoCon. So
Oh, I love it.
I was already in the neighborhood. I walked where the venue is the day before BravoCon started, and
Yeah.
a couple of lovely, I guess probably like they seemed like they maybe cleaned the place or something.
Yeah.
We were walking in the side entrance, and I was like, "What interest?" And I went inside the venue where everything was all set up for BravoCon, and I went live, and I was showing my followers. I mean, there was like 10 people, but whatever. I was like, "You
Right.
guys, I mean, security was like, excuse me."
They were like, you can't be back. It literally says restricted.
Here, you can be recording. It's supposed to be a big reveal the next day, right? Like they threw me out there. I was like, oh my God, when I showed up the next day for my tickets, I swear I thought like someone's gonna go, swarm, swarm. But they were like, they just wanted to make sure I didn't record it anymore, so they had to look through my phone, my camera roll, but I didn't. I just went live for like 2 minutes and got off. But they were nice. Then I did see the security guard the next day when I was at the like will call, and I was like, oh no, and he just smiled at me out. But I really had that feeling walking up thinking they're gonna be like, come to BravoCon.
Seriously, like cover. What is it about BravoCon that turns you into just like an idiot? Like I walked into BravoCon and I was like, I'm gonna be fine. Like it's really no big deal. Like it'll be fun. These aren't really my people though.
Whatever, they're just people, right?
They're just people. I walked in. Erica Jane was on the stage
Oh,
leading the Pat the Puss dance. Tears
I
started
was at
immediately
that.
streaming
I
down my
love the Pat the Puss dance. That was so fun.
I was crying. I was like, oh my God, these are my people. Everyone's here. This is their super goal.
No, I totally get it. I have that feeling again. And then other times I wanted to crawl into a hole. And like when Shannon Bedore threw my book, I handed her my book, my Housewives trivia book, and she threw it. And I was like, okay. And then like other little encounters like that where I was like, don't meet your heroes, don't do it.
I know this life. I know this life. Side note, I accidentally made out with Jordan Knight from New Kids on the Block in 2003.
No,
And
I
then
love that for you.
I did, but it's like also, okay, so, I would just keep it short, but like, you're not supposed to meet your heroes because then I'm like, oh, this is a sloppy man, who's had way too many Heinekens and he's asking me back to his hotel room. And if I go back to his hotel room, I'm going to have the worst sexual experience of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll literally never be able to listen to CoverGirl the same way again. So
Yeah, you were smart. You got out.
I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at this, Jordan. This kiss will last forever.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty iconic, I have to tell you.
I mean, yeah, every time I see him, I'm like, Jordan and I have history.
Right, right.
Um, okay, so Shannon was rude, and I hate that because she's an Aries.
I'm
So
an
I'm
Aries. I'm an Aries.
I was gonna ask
That,
you if you were an Aries.
that's
I
what
was
I'm
like,
saying. Oh, I'm Shannon. like iconic. And I'm like, what? She was super rude, and it was just completely uncalled for. It was just a book, and we rolled. It was like not a big deal at all. Just, I mean, it was. She threw it. She threw it, and I went and picked it up and took it back because I only had a couple, and I was like, "Why are not getting my book?"
No, absolutely not. And she's been so humbled this season. And I like the way that she's been handling herself. This is the first year you've ever seen me root for Shannon Bedore for
Oh,
anything.
same, same. This BravoCon was after DUI, but pre-season, so I think she maybe was still a little. I mean, it was like I think I don't know if you remember, like days after her DUI that we had BravoCon.
Yeah.
It was right then. So
I was surprised that she was there.
it's possible that it was the guardedness of like, "Hey, get fans, get away." I know I get it, but
Yeah.
it was. You can tell. You can tell when you meet them in a second whether they're like nice or not. And I feel like she has the potential to be. I'm sure there's other times where I enjoy her on the show this season too. I'm loving her. Kind of, you know, taking the heat, owning it, kind of
Yeah.
some slyness, some wittiness. I'm into her this year too. But I think deep down, deep rooted, like the housewives that I feel like are really good people. I don't think I put her on that list, unfortunately.
I do feel like if your instinct, whether you're under fire or not, is to throw a book, that's probably who you are at the end of the day.
I know.
In a space like BravoCon, where that's what we're doing. Like that's what you're here for.
Yeah, it's weird though. I've worked for obviously celebrities before, and you do get accosted constantly, and people give you shit, all this stuff. It's like, and part of me did get it. I'm like this. Who she doesn't know? We shouldn't know what this book is. It says Real
Yeah.
Housewives on it, but whatever. But it was a little rough. Like he handed it off to someone. Like it was rough. It was
Yeah, it
rough.
is.
I was a little shocked. I was like, okay.
One of the things that I wasn't there for this panel, but one of my moms who are watching was she saw Bren um part all of the people who were kind of like standing around waiting for autographs because there were two ladies that were there in wheelchairs, and Bren parted everyone to make sure that those ladies were seen, were heard, got counted, and got
Yeah,
attention.
she's amazing. She's the one
And
that
so I
she gave me a free VIP ticket to BravoCon. I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Brent. She
I freaking love Bren, and
she
I
had
love
like a
her
little
merch.
giveaway for content creators, and like I won it or whatever.
Good for you. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I love Brent, and I loved walking through the market and kind of like seeing. I saw a lot of
That was the
people.
most fun for me too. It was
Me
very
too.
crowded, but we really got like FaceTime and like as opposed to the panels. Yeah, I love that part too. Are you gonna go this coming year?
Absolutely. I don't think I'm going to. So this is
Okay.
actually maybe I should just like secretly announce it inside this podcast right now. But I got picked up for a podcast with Her Dat Media, which is running Teresa and Vicky's current podcast.
Yeah, I know that man. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and
Wow.
so the
Congratulations. That's
thank you
huge.
so much. I'm really excited. It's called Vander Sports. And it's basically me and my co-host where we talk about all of the confluence between reality, Bravo TV, and sports world, and really how like
I
they're
love
so
it.
similar, right? And like all of the highlight reels from the week's episodes or the week's games and things like that. And so I'm hoping that we're a little bit more established by next year so I can get some perks for BravoCon this year because it's
Yeah, I've done 2 years. I won't do it again. I made a real point the 2 years I went to go live from all the panels for my followers. So if you couldn't make it there, you could just watch my lives and feel like you're there, which sounds amazing, but it was really, really, really a lot of work. So
yeah.
I don't think I mean, I'm positive I won't go this year. I feel like I did it for 2 years. It was definitely a service that I create. I didn't go to have fun myself. I didn't relax, hang out. I just worked the whole entire time for my page.
Yeah.
I don't get paid for my page or anything. So as much as I love my followers and I want them to be able to experience it, I'll pass the baton. So I saw
It's exhausting.
more people were doing it this year than when I did it in New York for the first time. So I think that everyone will have lots of access and they don't need me tramping all over Vegas, whatever. I'm good. It was fun last time.
So you just had your book launched, right? Okay, so Thea wrote two books. It's the unofficial Real Housewives trivia book and the unofficial Vanderpump book.
Right.
So they're sisters. And did they come out at the same time?
No, the House by Fun came out a year ago, and the Vanderpump just came.
And so where were you just at kind of launching your book? I feel like you've been all over the place, New York, LA, and Vegas.
No, I mean, I went to LA to have a book release party, which we didn't do for the last book. I brought the last book to BravoCon and handed out, and I sold some, but I also gave some to housewives. So I guess that was promoting it in a way. But we didn't do like a big party. But this year we decided to have a book release party at Sir, and we invited a bunch of like D-list celebrities and had a little red carpet. And Sandoval showed up and gave me flowers, and a couple of people were there, like Peter Madrigal and Guillermo. It was fun. We had lots of random. I mean, Kristen Takeman, Taylor Armstrong, like random celebs came.
Wow, wow, wow.
But it was fun. It was super fun. It was just a fun way to get because they put like a step and repeat with the book on it, and then Vicky actually advertised Coto Insurance on it, and Taylor advertised on it. And then all the interviews that were done on the red carpet, and John Gosselin was my DJ, and he did interviews, and Sandoval did interviews. So you could see like the book on the back, which I guess the point, like, so all these interviews that were everywhere from the red carpet of my book party, then I guess just raises awareness that this book exists. I don't know.
Yes, I freaking love it. And I know you say D-list celebrities, but I'm like, that's like my who's who.
Oh, it's I think in the most affectionate way. I mean, I'm like, what, F-list? So yeah, no, I loved it. Everybody okay?
If I
Just
could have
very
Tom
random.
Cruise or Tom Sandoval, I'm gonna pick
Right.
Sandoval. I could have Gwyneth Paltrow or Vicky Gunvalson. I want
Vicky
Vicky.
was supposed to come the last second, so she was taking a car service with Taylor up from the OC. And
Yeah.
Taylor didn't return her call that day, and Vicky was upset. She didn't want to be alone in the car service for the long ride, right? Like a couple of hours in traffic or whatever. And so she, the last second, decided not to come, even though she was on her step and repeat. But so I was
Oh
bummed because it would have been
man.
fun to. I met her before in New York, but it would have been fun to have her there. Whatever. I mean, you can never expect if you're not paying problems to come. You can never expect anyone to show up. So I'm grateful anybody
Right.
did. But it was, yeah, it was such a fun. It was fun to fly out to LA. I'm a New Jersey mom right now, and I used to live in LA and work in LA, so it was fun to go out there have a little party. I was able to invite my real friends there also, so
Yeah.
we had like a place to hang out at Sir. It was such a great day. And I went to Dance with the Stars as Phaedra's guest before. So we went like, I went to Dance with the Stars and I was like in the front row with a little seat like Phaedra Park's guest. So that was, if I just did that, it would have been worth the trip. But then like
Absolutely.
jumped in a car, went right over to Sir, had the party. A couple people that were at the Dance with the Stars, like Kristen Takeman and the Bachelorette girls, they were all there. They all came to my party. So it was just like such a fun day. It started at like 3 o'clock and ended at like 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, okay, that was super not anything to do with what my daily life, it's like my old
Yeah.
Hollywood life. And I got to do it for a day. And then now I'm back to normal and whatever. But it was fun.
I love that so much. Oh my God, to be invited by anywhere by Phaedra Parks.
Right.
I love Shady Faye, and I'm so glad she's just back on our screens. I missed her. I loved her on. For listen, she went a little left in that last season. Like Phaedra, what are you doing? But I also stood by her because I did feel like she was traumatized by her marriage and her relationship,
Right.
and so I forgave Phaedra.
Everybody makes mistakes, and honestly, by now, I feel like she's redeemed herself. Like, what else has she ever done? She did make one big mistake, but like, is it a pattern? Is she constantly trying to? No, I mean, we haven't in how many years we haven't seen anything from her
Yeah,
except kind of pureness. And I mean, she's a freaking funeral director and a lawyer or whatever. Like, the woman's like giving back to society. She's not
she
just trying to
is.
ruin lives. She's like, and she's raising two amazing kids and all that stuff. So I feel like she deserves by now a redemption arc. I feel like there's really no reason to keep hating her. I understand why people were mad at her at the time. I didn't think it was an amazing move on her part, but
No,
it's weird. Other people on Bravo that continually do stuff that's really immoral and subterfuge. I just don't count her as one of those. Like somebody that made
you,
a really big mistake a long time ago.
you mean like Tamara? You mean people people like Tamara?
Um, I know. Well, Tamara suffers from if you guys knew how much she made, you wouldn't understand it, but it would make more sense. Is like she is literally working to get a paycheck, to get paid to be on that show, right? And the fame and all that comes with it. And
Right.
she thinks what you have to do is be messy and be mean and be dirty, which you don't, as we all know. But I just feel like that's what's going on. I feel like she is just so desperate. She came back after being gone, and now it's like stay on our screens, get the ratings up, get people watching, and nothing else matters. Nothing. Being
I
good, being a good friend, being a good person, nothing. And that desperation we've seen in other housewives, that desperation's scary. It's scary. When
Oh,
you
yeah.
see that someone would do anything to stay on that show, it's scary. And her gamble might have paid off if things had gone differently. If Shannon had looked worse, if Shannon had been a hot mess, Tamara might look like the hero to all of us. Like, wow, Tamara, you're really going after her. You should, because look at this woman. But I think Shannon coming in and holding her head high was her downfall, because it's like, and I think they do decide before the season who they're going to go for, and sometimes they can't go back. And then it's like, well, because they're not filming it in real time, so they don't know how
Right.
they're coming across. And I think she gambled on thinking that people would think she's the hero for finally, holding Shannon Medora to task. And it's obviously backfired terribly. And she's wrong. She should not have done this.
I feel like I'm trying to like make sure that my algorithm isn't so biased. I'm like, like, where's any Tamra support? Like maybe,
No,
one
yeah,
comment to like
not out
100
there.
comments. And like, if that's her gamble, I don't know that it's going to pay off, because I mean, if people mean what they say online, they're going to be done watching OC if they continue to see like such nasty behavior. Because at some point, it's just like, can we leave this woman alone? I mean, every one of us in our lives has someone who has made a grave mistake,
Right.
especially something
Definitely.
like a DUI. And it's so, I think, really like tactless, especially when you're part of this drinking culture of the show, right? Like Trace Amigas is all about whooping it up in tequila and fun. So like, let's not pretend that that couldn't have been you ever, you know?
100%.
Did
And,
your girl?
obviously the argument right now being that Karen Huger on her second gets a little bit more of a pass. People are mildly coming for her on her show, but it's not. She's still the grand dame. She's still in the center of everything. She's not quite getting it as hard. And, people are wondering how fair that is. So, and I kind of tend to agree, obviously. I mean, if we want to make a list of all the housewives that have gotten in trouble, like, it'd be pretty much everyone. So yeah, it's not fair. She's not getting
Yeah,
fair treatment at all. And it's partly due to Tamara. And then, of course, I mean, the fact that Bravo would bring on Alexis and John like this, like, come on, like, this is why I don't know about Tamara coming back. Obviously, Tamara wants to come back, and I think no one wants her back. However, I don't know, because, and the ratings are not great. 560,000. It's not great, but it's also not like, Dubai, and Dubai just got renewed.
right.
So I don't know if they think that the people are watching, or at least getting drama because Tamara's on there. Like, should we take out the villain? I don't know what Bravo will decide. And sometimes I think Bravo really cares what we all think, and sometimes I think they really don't. So
They
I don't
really,
know.
I don't know either. And like the choice to bring back Alexis, like, I don't ever need to see Jesus Jugs ever again. And then Johnny J, another person who I don't even need to know his name.
Well,
Like,
the
OC is so wild this season
well
to
the
me.
funny thing about Alexis, because I know her, because I almost wrote her memoir for her. Not that we're friends, but I talked to
Yeah.
her on the phone about the memoir many times. Um, they were in talks to have her back before any of this. Like, they wanted to bring her back. And it wasn't like signed, sealed, delivered yet, but there she was most likely coming back. And then, of course, when they found out she was dating John Dick, come telling me, love triangle, this is going to be great. I 100% don't think Bravo anticipated the messy storyline and how bad Alexis would be. I thought they just thought, of course, as any reality TV show would think, is no one loves a love triangle more than Bravo. And like,
Well,
yeah, I can't wait to see Shannon and Alexis, but we just didn't know how. I mean, it really came across all very poorly, and she's been
I think it's
sufferable. Had she been a little more entertaining, a little more, maybe not talking as much. I mean, Johnny J every 5 minutes. Did you think Bravo anticipated that? Like that? You can't help that kind of thing. This is not
no
scripted.
one rides harder for a deadbeat dude than their
So
new girlfriend.
bad. It's really
And I
bad.
feel like maybe it'd be more well received, but it's Johnny J and her and the DUI all in one storyline
Right.
for canon. So
Too
it's just
much.
like
Too much.
overkill.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the perfect storm. I don't think Bravo could. So I actually can understand why they brought her back, what the intention was, and how it turned out differently. I mean, I don't think we'll ever see her again. I really don't think so. But I don't
She
know.
walked
We
up
can.
those stairs. She told the girls to get out, walked up those stairs, and she's never coming down.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Like, please, please. But it's hard. So hard to resist camera time and the paycheck and the sponsorships and everything that comes along with these shows. It's
Oh
so
yeah.
hard for everyone to avoid. It really, I mean, it really is. Everybody wants to be on the show. It
Of
really does change
course.
your life.
I love Jen. I wanted to change Jen's life. I think Jen is fan favorite this season, and she's just like she's hot. She's so real. Like, I could see Jen going to work at Kodo Insurance for Vicky, right?
Well, it's
Like,
funny. I was in New York and I thought she was just amazing. And she sparkles in real life too. She's so genuine, looks you right in the eye. But I'm one of the few people that's like, why are we acting like Ryan is such a deadbeat? Like, okay, he worked for a bookie, right? Got it. I mean, my brother was a bookie before. It's like, it's legal in Vegas. I mean, whatever.
yeah,
He works for someone who's intermediary. He probably made a ton of money doing it. Okay, is that a crime? I mean, he's not Jen Shaw. He's not like some degenerate criminal. He's not going to jail.
exactly.
So I'm kind of
Exactly.
not understanding why we don't like Ryan and why like she should get out or whatever. I'm kind of like, okay, so she's in love. He's not mistreating her as far as we know. I don't get the Ryan hate as much as everyone else. I get that he was involved in something that was unsavory and all that stuff, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not quite understanding. Okay, she hasn't ever worked for herself, but she's never had to. So
Right.
she's raised kids. I mean, I don't work. I might stay home. Is that terrible? I don't know. I don't understand the negative. I think everyone's loving her this season as well, but I'm not understanding like why people think like she needs to be rescued so badly. Yes, she's not rich and she's admitted it. She's so open about her
Yeah.
finances, about what kind of money she has or doesn't have. Like she's talked about being evicted. So what more do we want from her? We want her to be super rich. We want her to be independent, I guess. But these are the choices she's made to lead to her. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I hope bad things don't happen with her and Ryan. I hope people aren't right about him. But for me, I guess also because I met him, in real life, he's actually very not like high on himself. Do you know what I mean? Like he comes across very
Yeah.
humble and like kind of
Yeah.
sweet. So I just don't get it. I'm like, he doesn't come across like, I mean, no offense, but Louis comes across a little bit. You could see where the side of him that might be controlling in real life. And
Oh, for sure. For sure.
yes, and Ryan doesn't come
Um,
across like any of those things.
Ryan seems to me like he's the kind of guy that will like take you out for wings and a beer.
Right, right, definitely.
And like, I feel like probably he came in and then Tamara had her opinions of him because, her really strong opinions about him last year. Maybe there's some truth to that. And then everybody just kind of glommed onto that. But I completely agree with you. Like, Jen's a grown ass woman and I'm going to trust her to like do what she needs to do when it comes to
Right.
that relationship.
I really
When you're looking
believe.
at Brittany from Salt Lake City and Jared, I'm like, okay, now that's a freaking red flag.
Well, I mean, luckily, there's no way those two are gonna last. Obviously, he's just not into should be like her motto. Like, I mean, we should send her like flags with that on it. Like, he's not into out of all. It's so obvious.
It's
So
crazy
she's
obvious.
not gonna have any choice but to move on from that one. The guy's not marrying her or anything unless he's super obsessed with the fame that comes along with the show. But if she stays with him, she's gonna fizzle out on the show, or we're all gonna be tired of watching that dude.
He's a freaking Osmond. Like this show should not be like, like blinding light to him. Like the fact that she was like, we're best friends. He calls me his best friend, but he stops holding my hand when we get around other women. Bitch, bye.
Red
What are you
flag.
doing?
No, no.
Out of all the shows, all the cities, like what's your favorite?
The old Roni was my favorite forever, not anymore. I still like Roni, the new Roni, but I think I'd have to say Beverly Hills at this point never lets me down. I've been watching every single one of these shows from day one, but that's the one that like every season somehow gives me something. I've never been bored. People say, "Oh, they're having a bad season." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm loving them." I would say that has to be my ride or die at this point. They've not let me down yet. Maybe this coming season will be the one where they let me down, but I don't think so. From hearing from everything that's going on, I'm like, oh, I think we're getting a good one.
And
Sorry,
what's your
haters.
like least favorite? What's the one that you're like, I'll watch it, but whatever.
I mean, it changes right year to year. Now Atlanta was really hard for me to get through last season. I didn't finish the season,
Yeah.
just because the drama felt manufactured. It happens, the cycles. Atlanta was my number one forever, obviously, in the early
Yeah.
like cannot like ride or die for that. But yeah, that one lost me. Potomac was losing me, but I've been watching it. It just depends on who has authentic drama, and it just goes season to season. Salt Lake has not let me down yet. Solid 4 seasons, no problems there. Orange County, it's hard. It's hard for me to get through. This season has been good. Thank you, Tamara, I guess. Last season felt like work getting through it. Work
Yeah.
just every show fluctuates year to year. It just depends on what drama's coming in. If it's authentic drama, not authentic, that's it. But I really, really ride hard for the Beverly Hills ladies and the old New York ladies for sure.
The old New
Minus
York.
Ramona.
I call Ramona like the auntie that I don't agree with her, but I love her anyway. That's
Yeah, I
Ramona.
don't hate her. I just like this. Oh my gosh, I just feel like she's mean to them. I mean, if you saw a girls trip, she actually is mean.
No, she is. She's terrible. She's rude. Like, that's what I mean. It's like, that's just how she is.
I know.
I haven't just accepted that about her, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'll allow myself to love Ramona. If I get one guilty pleasure pick, it's gonna be
Right, I
Ramona.
hear you. I hear you. I can see her appeal for sure, but everything she says and bothers me. I'm like, Ramona, wake up! And I don't even think. I think 90% intentional. I really do. I really do think she's just in a
Of course she is.
cloud, a bubble of Ramona-ness and doesn't understand what she's saying. Might be offensive or hurtful or whatever. I 100% believe that. But how long are you gonna excuse her? She's like in her 60s.
She is. She's 65. She is.
Like at some point, you have to understand that you can't talk to people like that. Come on.
I don't think that's ever gonna happen for her. I think that actually reminds me of Luann. Those early days. Bethany, when you're introducing me to the help, it's Countess Delisette. Remember that? And I was just like, oh my god,
Oh yeah, no.
they're my
I
favorite
miss
show.
them. I miss the whole cast. They really brought something every year. They were such a mess. It was amazing. Such amazing TV for so long. The new girls
What
are
exactly
beautiful.
Bethany's kind of breakdown? Bethany's shellfish eating.
Look, she doesn't look at it like a breakdown. She's making tons of money with sponsorships. She's getting money is just pouring in from that Instagram page. The messier and more cringe she is, the more viral it goes. I don't think she sees any problem with what she's doing. I know she annoys people. She annoys me. I can't watch her. No way. I mean, I watch
Yeah.
her to laugh, but I couldn't like watch her seriously ever. I would never take a makeup tip from that woman. Her makeup is hideous. I would never. I don't know what you're talking about, but I have so many followers who ride or die for her who think she's like, could be their best friend in real life. Like she's telling us like it is. She is like the only one that's telling the truth out there about this and that and cosmetics and the show, the Bravo. I'm like, amazing. She's like literally Jesus to like half my followers. So I just personally can't like it's really grating, but she whatever she's doing is working is all I'm saying. Like
Working
there's
for her.
more people that love her than hate her. So I mean I don't hate her. I just find it very hard to watch her.
Do you think we'll ever see Bethany back on Bravo?
Oh no, I never, never, never,
You
never.
don't think
She
so?
would no, she's been way too vocal anti-Bravo. First of all, she would never need to come back or want to come back. And then
Yeah.
they would never have her back. So that is gone forever. There's no way.
What about Nene?
See that because Nene, has been trying to make inroads for a long, long time. I could see one day that playing out and working out for her. I feel like Bravo's forgiven her. They settled their lawsuit. There's no, Nene's
Yeah.
not trying to rally every freaking ex-housewife against Bravo, doing Vanity Fair articles about how bad Bravo is. I mean, when Nene had a beef with Bravo, settled the beef, and I feel like they would potentially have her back. She's great television. She's amazing television. They'd be
Yeah.
stupid not to have her back. Whereas Bethany, I don't think would even be amazing television. I don't think she's led enough.
She's too much. She's the end. She's too much.
Right.
You know. Okay, so what about Vanderpump? Did you watch Vanderpump from the beginning?
I was a huge fan in the beginning. My best friend was Kristen's publicist, so I got all the like backstory and every scene. I heard about all that, like everything that was going on with the cast. So it made the show even better for me. And yeah, hard ride or die, Vanderpump from the beginning for sure. Always.
Absolutely. I mean, I wish. I know this sounds like so over the top, but whatever. If there's any show that I wish I could experience from the beginning the same way that I experienced Vanderpump, it's that.
Right.
In the same age as the cast, so I watched. They were a hot mess. I was a hot
Right,
mess.
right. You're in your
I'm like,
20s, like doing
yeah,
decisions. You're like,
yes. I'm like,
coffee table drug last night, actually. Yeah.
exactly. Everybody had these shitty apartments. They're like just like working at the bar. I'm like, this is my life. This
Right.
is me. And then as they've aged out, I've kind of like aged out with them, but I missed just that, like, because I always say, like, I could never watch Vanderpump from the start today with the same feeling that it gave me then.
Right.
So I've just been such a huge fan. Stassi's my fucking girl. I love Stassi
Yeah.
forever.
I just
I
met
love
her at
her.
her book signing here. Yeah.
How
Very,
was she? Was
very
she through?
gorgeous. Very gorgeous in person, as you would
She is.
expect. Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Um, and then every time I go to LA, I go to Sir, I go to Tom Tom. I tried to go to Pump. Pump's been closed like every time I'm in LA.
Yeah.
But just kind of that whole like WeHo area.
Mhm.
I was accidentally there on one Tuesday night, and it was a see you next Tuesday. And I was like, it's James. It's Kennedy. It's James Kennedy. And I start freaking out.
He's
Like,
tall.
he's tall. He's handsome. James Kennedy was when he was a mess and people like hated him. I was like, "What? He is the best. Watch him, guys. Everybody watch him." Like I was on the James train from the very beginning.
Right, right. And then when people started to love him, you're like, see, I told you he's funny. He's so funny, right?
Yeah, I was like, actually, you don't get to love him because I don't need your bandwagon fandom.
Carpet bagging, James Kennedy lovers.
Yes. So I haven't been back since the girls' sandwich shop opened and since Jack's is open and Schwartz and Sandy's. So I
Right.
need to hit those
Oh, you will.
those three. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the boys are at Schwartz and Sandy's a lot, and Jack's at his bar a lot, and the girls are. So they're all out there trying to. Well, now that the show is indefinitely not coming back, they have to work. So you'll probably get a good chance if you go out there meeting all of them at some point.
Yeah. How did that when all of the Scandoval stuff came out, like what was your thought process around all of that drama?
Scandoval, I mean. Well,
Scandoval.
it's funny. My sister was Raquel's pageant coach back in the day for Miss
Oh my
USA, and
God.
my
So you
brother.
have a connection to like
Right.
so many people.
My brother ran the division and my sister was her like personal coach. So she knows both my brother and sister. And I was
Wow.
actually my mom passed away and I was at her funeral the night before at dinner with my sister and the news broke. I knew it was like in the media, not like my sister broke the news to me. I hadn't looked because it was like my mom's funeral the next day and we were
Right.
at the dinner. But she looked on her phone and saw it and she was like, and I was sitting there and it didn't even hit me at first what a big deal was. I'm like, we're at first I thought maybe it was like not true, you know? And
Yeah.
then it took me like getting to the dinner, not looking at my phone, and then finally getting back to my hotel later that night. And I started scrolling. I'm like, and then it was everywhere by then. You know, it had been broken since like 4 p.m. And this is like 11 at night. And I run a Bravo page, and I was like, am I? Everyone's like, have you seen? I'm like, I am. So that's funny that she's the one that told me about it. But she told me about it after she saw it in the news. Not like Raquel called her up and was like, hey, guess what happened? I mean, they hadn't talked in years. She talked to her mom sometimes, once in a while, because her mom wanted my sister to help Rachel or Raquel in different areas of her career back in the day. But it was just funny, that surreal little moment where I'm like, my mom's funeral. My sister was her pageant coach. This is the
Oh, right.
biggest news. By the next day, the actual funeral day, it was obviously the biggest deal ever. And I'm like, I can't, like, I have to just deal with this on Monday because, you know. So I
It was
didn't
crazy
post
how big it
anything.
was.
Yeah, it was a big one.
It was huge. It like took over. Okay. The morning it broke, I was in bed and I start crying. I don't know why. I'm gonna
Oh,
blame the
I
moon.
cry from Bravo News. I'm with you. I feel you.
I was on my period. I don't know what
Right.
happened. But I was just like freaking out. And my boyfriend was like, babe, what's going on? What's going on? And I was like, my friend got cheated on by with her boyfriend of 9 years. He's like, really? And I was like, she gave her entire life to him for the past 9 years and he cheated on her with their mutual friend.
Right.
And he's like, oh my God, babe, are you okay? Like, what do we need to do? Does she need us? I was like, she does.
Right.
And he's like, okay. So time goes by and he goes, who are these friends? And I was like, you don't know them. I was like, her name's Ariana. And he's like, oh my God, how long have you guys been friends? I was like, 12 seasons.
Right.
It's just like, are you fucking kidding me? You don't know what what this is doing to me.
Yeah, my husband has no clue who any of these people are, and he still doesn't. But the one reality show I ever tried to get him to watch was Vanderpump Rules when Stassi found out Jax slept with the girl in Vegas. Made him sit and watch it because I was like John on the floor, and he was like, "I will never watch this crap ever again," because it actually realized that was like the worst thing to ever get him to watch because it was so seedy and cheesy and corny and reality. And I should have maybe got him in through like Below Deck, and Lee, like something more. But he watched that one episode with me and then never ever watched it again. So he has no idea. And to this day, he doesn't even know. I'm like, do you not read the news? New York Times had this. Has no idea, knows nothing about Bravo, will never watch Bravo, will not talk about Bravo. I remember on her anniversary, like last year or the year before, we went out to dinner. He's like, no Bravo, don't talk about Bravo. I'm like,
What are you talking about? This is my life. This is really the idea behind Vandersport's podcast
right.
is like,
Try
is
to
to pull
meld.
these two worlds together. And I think Captain Lee is such a good onboarding for
Right.
men who are not gonna get into it, but Captain Lee, like, he's been featured on other sports podcasts. He's
Right.
just like a man's man. He's a
Yeah,
you know,
it's a
he's a
good
daddy.
it's a good gateway, and then you do get sucked into the kind of the on deck drama, and then you could maybe, expand. There's some Bravo loves that go in there, and you could try to get them a little bit into Below Deck, and then maybe ease them into Southern Charm, and then,
Yes,
ease
yes, yes.
I don't know, and some men, my husband included, it's impossible, it'll never happen.
And I think that's okay, but also, like, I want you to be able to, like, gossip with me. If I tell you something, if I tell you
Right.
that my friends just got cheated on, I need you to just
No,
hold
does
me.
not care, does not care, and honestly, like, doesn't really care even if I was talking about my real friends, like, who's cheating on you. Kind of looks at me like, "I don't need to know this information. I'm hanging out with this dude." I'm like, "So I tell somebody. I don't know to tell anybody, right?" Like,
What's your husband's sign? What is he, a Capricorn?
my husband is a Leo. So it's kind of like
Oh,
all about him.
yes.
He was an actor, a musical theater performer back in the day. Like it's his world. He's not gonna listen to who my friend's cheating on with who. And he's also just not like gossipy. Like, oh, it's really annoying. Like he would never tell me if one of his friends told him something juicy. But I love the juicy stuff, and I really would like a bigger reaction from him. Just out of commitment to me.
Especially, like, you're a musical theater man. I expect more. Give me
Right,
some Hugh Jackman. Like,
right, right. Yeah.
he dance for me.
No, but then on the other hand, I'm sure you get this with your boyfriend as well. Then on the other hand, sometimes it's nice to have the separation. Sometimes it's nice to come out of your bubble and say, like, there's more to life. There's more going on besides. I mean, if we sat and talked about Bravo all the time, it might be too much. So I do appreciate it 90% of the time that we're in separate worlds in a way. When I go on my
Yes.
page and I post stuff, it's like, it's my own thing. It's good. It's fine.
Oh, yes.
And I try not to make anymore. When I was first trying to grow my page and starting out, it really didn't encompass a lot of my life. I have been trying this past year to separate a little and not post as much and not be as involved and not get messy and not be involved in drama just for my own sanity. And also, I think it got old for me as well as everyone else. But it was hard to grow a page. You know how it is. Like, who knows you, your friends, your family? Like, how are you going to get 50,000 people to follow your page? It's just me. So I felt like I had to do that stuff to grow, which it worked, but I'm a little done
Did.
with that.
Well, you're over 50,000 followers now, which is just
I'm
huge.
good.
It's amazing. I love that. Like, from Hollywood to New Jersey mom to and back to Bravo. It all comes full circle. I love it so much. Can you hold up your books?
Oh,
Let's see your book.
well, here's the Vanderpump one's a new one. I don't have the outside one because I just gave my last copy away, but I will have more. But they're both the same. So the other one would be Real Housewives, and it has,
Oh,
pictures,
it's cute.
quizzes, and behind the scenes footage, bonus footage, and then lots of fun stuff. There's true and false. Everybody's in here. And the end, there's like, which Vanderpump Rules character are you? And then you have to answer questions and then decide who you are, like Sandoval or Ariana. So it has a drink recipe at the beginning of every chapter.
Oh my God, I freaking love this book.
I wrote the introduction myself, and then I would do like um it's cool. Like at the beginning of the chapter, I'll have the beginning, and then I'll have a drink recipe, Kristen's unhinged espresso martini, right? And then the cool artwork, and then the quizzes. And it's like over 500 questions. It's really more. I mean, trivia book sounds like less than it is. It's really more a retrospective. So I went all the way up through season 11 because we like rushed it to production. So I have right now as it stands of every season in here, and you kind of just hit the big moments, the big like meaningful moments, and the big where you can recognize all these like pictures. So
I'm gonna be honest, I have goosebumps and I'm tearing up.
I feel like it's like the whole show in a book, like where we can pick it up and go, oh my God, I forgot this, but James Kennedy or whatever, like you just never. So I feel like it's like a love letter to Vanderpump Rules more than just a little trivia book, in my humble opinion.
I Ask me a question from it.
Some of these are really hard. If I go to the beginning, I don't
I'm
know.
so scared.
Okay. She is angry in season 2 because none of her friends what? Uh,
Oh my God, because they didn't call her after her oral surgery.
right. Hey, you got it. That was right. Okay. Let's go to this friend was at Sandoval's house when he was producing a semen sample. A, LVP, B, Katie, C, James, or D, Schwartz. That's an easy one, actually. Who else would be there?
Is it short?
That has to be right. I mean, LVP is not there.
She's not.
Easier than others. Raquel Randall brought what famous friend to poker night? George Clooney, Jesse Metcalf, Andy Cohen, or John Mellencamp? That's another easy one. Like, it's not gonna be Andy. It's not gonna be John Mellencamp. It's not gonna be George Clooney. It must be
It's
Jesse Metcalf.
it's Jesse Metcalf because he was
but,
in one of his
but
4 movies.
right. But these are things like you might forget. You know,
I don't want to
you
forget
haven't
that
watched the show
either.
in a long time. So I think that's where it's like kind of cute. Is that you're like, oh, I totally forgot that happened, even if you're
I
a mega fan of the show.
I love it. And so you have that one, you have a version for Housewives 2, which honestly was so much housewife content. You could have one for every single
Yeah, that
freaking
one was so much harder because first of all, Vanderpump, I know like back my hand, so this was like really not easy for me to write, but like easier. Housewives, I've seen refranchise every season, but I didn't retain. I'm not one of those like Bravo pages where you can say, "Oh my God, remember season 2?" No, I remember nothing. It's all a blur. I loved every. So it took a lot more research, and you could really just hit the big because I covered every franchise, and it's just 50 questions per chapter. So I just 50 questions about 12 seasons of OC, you're not going to hit all the moments, whereas this I can
yeah.
really go deep. So I think that was easier in terms of trivia. But again, it is a real retrospective, and it's all the franchises in one book, which, there's no other book out there like that. So I'm like, in a way, it's nice to have this is Housewives and this is Vanderpump. But Housewives also went on. So there's stuff that, like, the new Rhodey's not in that book because I finished it before then. So now it's like a little bit of an antique.
Oh,
But
I love it.
and this one I wrote the introduction myself, so I did a lot more creative writing. This one is nice. It's not as good as this one because this one I really wrote harder, and I'm a good writer.
Like
So yeah,
all in,
so
right?
to
It's
me it's
just
bigger and it's also deeper. There's somebody on Amazon said the questions were too obscure. I'm like, that is true in some cases, but by design, because it's an easy trivia book. What's the point? I want to try to trip you guys up, but I mean, they're all things that happen. I try to keep it to just things that happen on the show, so no like outside gossip or whatever. Like
right.
it had to have occurred on the show for you to be able to see it in my book. So it's all stuff that I think there's some super fans that might get every question right. I don't know, but it is harder than the other one. The other one you would never say questions were obscure. But yeah, so now I have to have this and Vanderpump. I don't know if I'll do another one. There were a lot of work, and then you have to not only you have to write it and edit it and get it. That's like a year process, and then you have to promote it, which is like a nightmare because who's buying books nowadays? Like, hi, buy my book. Like, people don't buy books anymore. It's all on your phone, whatever. No one's carrying them.
I'm buying that book. I want both copies. I want them now. Like that was like if there's a thing in the world, like what would Bill want? I want that and a margarita. The end, and I'd be happy for the rest of the year.
Well, maybe then people will buy it. I don't know. This is the part of it I don't like, but I did like writing. I do like it's fun to have something on bookshelves. Like my dad can go to Barnes and Noble and buy it. That's pretty cute. Like he thinks that's cool, cute. I had one other book. It was I wrote Amber Portwood's memoir from Teen Mom,
Oh
but
yeah.
a little bit of a car crash or train wreck because as we were writing it together during the pandemic, I wrote it, worked really hard on it, and then she got embroiled in a really big custody battle. And then the lawyers came in and literally redacted like 3/4 of the book. They were like, nope, can't say this, can't say this. And so it ended up just being like a shell of a book. I mean, I finished it, I did it somehow. I took out all the good stuff. We published it, whatever. And I wouldn't even help promote it in a way because it's just, people would say, what, there's nothing new in here. No, there's nothing new. All got taken out. So that was a little bit of, I mean,
Yay.
she wanted to do it, and I'm glad we did it for her. Kind of some of it was about her mental health journey, and that was important for her to get out there, and that's fine. But in terms of like a juicy, and the one of the most scandalous characters in the Teen Mom, you would think more would have come from that, but it's fine. I mean, I never written someone else's book before, so it was a fun learning experience for me. Not a big deal, wasn't like anything. It was almost like self-publishing. It's like a publisher where you just split the cost and split the profit. It wasn't like this one's like a real publishing house. So there really was very little at stake. No one had paid like a ton of money. So it's fine. But yeah, so I have three. And that one I don't even know if it's in bookstores. You can buy it on Amazon. But this one is definitely like Books a Million, Barnes and Noble, like Target, wherever. So that's kind of fun to be able to
And
walk.
it's your name, it's
Right.
your baby. You
Right.
birthed
Right.
created it. I love that so much. And maybe after Amber's life settles down, she'll be able to do like,
I know. Someday. You never know. I don't know if
fantasy.
will ever settle down for a girl.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, Thea, thank you so, so, so much. I love discussing Bravo. I love like digging into some of your past work and like all of your relationships with all of these people. I would love to, when we start Vander Sports, I'd love to have you on again in some capacity, for
Right,
that hurt.
100%. I'm a sports fan, so I could probably find some ways to tie things in.
I love it.
I'm not like a huge sports person, but I'm definitely a fan. Definitely watch sports, know a little about sports, so I could probably be a good guest. But for sure, I could bring the Bravo side of it.
I love that. And I guess before we go to like, I'm also a musical theater, like I'm a playwright by my,
Amazing.
so like,
I wrote Captain Lee's play. We performed it. Now it was just in London, 12 shows in London at like real theaters.
I love
I
this.
have the word of it. It's a one man show, but it was like I'd never written a play before, but I was a theater major in college, and it was so fun to be able to do that. So I was so proud of you for being a playwright and going in that medium. I love it so much. I love theater.
Thank you. Well, oh, hold on. I'll send you one of my, I got a book too. You can get it at the drama book club, the drama bookshop. But,
Stop. Oh my gosh.
and I go in there sometimes when I'm in New York and I like secretly
No, I love the
autograph
drama book
them.
stuff. You know, I went to college and grad school in New York City, so we were at the drama book shop to buy our like coursework and stuff. So I know that place. That's amazing.
I went in there, I saw my book, I was there for work just a few months ago, and I just was like, is this a dream? This is a dream.
Amazing. That is so
It's
great. I
so
love theater so much. It really is my first heart. It was my undergraduate major, and I went to grad school for film. And I love theater so much. So I'm very proud of you. I can't wait to read it.
Thank you. I want to see Captain Lee's play and like what's it gonna take to get him to come to Omaha and do it?
He was just in Michigan with it. We did it in Fort Lauderdale and in Vegas, and then he went on to do it. I was like in the show and everything. I made myself. I didn't mean to, he wanted me to. I didn't want to. Like the stage hand, and then bringing him stuff during the show. But
Oh my God,
I did it
amazing.
twice, but it was a lot. I don't need to go everywhere with him. So he went to Michigan and 12 places in London. I'm sure he would do it where would have him. He loved it. It's just basically stories from his life, but it's good. I do like. I really have him. I really livened it up a lot. I have him acting out certain things. I mean, I try to make it not just him sitting there talking. So I
Right, right, right,
really
right.
worked hard on it to make it a dynamic evening with cool things in it and stuff. So it's special. It is not your average one man show. I worked so hard. I remember when I first handed my first draft to him, he was like, "This is like completely thousand times better than I ever thought." When he first hired me, it was just like basically people hire me sometimes for these appearances, and I just don't want to stand there and they're paying money. I want to make it good. It was the
Right.
word like play never came out of his mouth. And I was the one that was like, I'm doing this. Like, this is going to be amazing. Actually, when I first wrote it, I really had him doing acting out a lot of stuff in there. And I was like, and he was like, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. I'm like,
Right.
it's theater. You can just be sitting there. And he had to just sit there. So then I had to make it even more creative and like figure out a way to make it interesting with him sitting there. And I did.
Right.
I really pulled it off. I think it's great. I just saw a bunch of people on a Below Deck page talking about how they saw the show in London and loved it. And I was like, that's me.
I love that so much.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
God. I would love to see Captain Lee on stage. I love that man.
All right. Well,
Well,
next
I'm
time
gonna
you
see if I
see
can
he's
get in
coming,
here.
and he's coming to you, tell me and I'll get you tickets.
Okay. Well, I have a theater here that we run, and so maybe I'll just like plug him in the schedule somewhere.
Oh, get them
You know,
out. Call them up. Get them
you
out
love it.
there. He would love it. I'm telling you. He cannot get enough of sit up there talking. Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me on, and
Thank you, Thea.
I will look for your play in the mail because I can't wait to read it.
Yes, thank you so much for being with me today,
Uh,
and we'll talk soon.
okay. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.